You find yourself lost in Irvingland. Last time, Will and Dr. Smith were working on a project when Smith suddenly started acting like a stereotypical sleepwalker, said he was being summoned, and walked into a plexiglass cage of some kind, which promptly closed itself and locked him in. Then some cousin to our old friend the Wild Thing appeared and started trying to help him get out. Sort of. As soon as the Wild Thing showed up, Will ran for help.
Well, don't just stand there. Get me out of this dreadful contraption.
You sure look natural in there, Smith, doesn't he, Will?
Never mind your twisted sense of humor, Major. Release me at once.
Why? For the first time since the trip started, you're not in a position to cause them any trouble. I say leave you there. But, as often happens, John is too nice for his own good and lets him out. Dr. Smith apparently didn't see the guy who appeared or what he did with the Wild Thing. He was too busy whimpering like a baby, even though there was obviously an impenetrable barrier between him and the creature. They all decide they'll be safer back at the ship. John says he'll send the robot to check out the cages later. The smaller one has some kind of lizard in it, and we know what was most recently in the larger one, a fine example of Homo dipwadus. Meanwhile, the robot seems to have taken some liberty in interpreting its instructions. It brought the cage back to the ship, with the animal in it.
You weren't instructed to bring the cage back with you.
But neither was I told to leave it in its original place.
You may have placed us all in jeopardy. Suppose that creature gets loose.
You need have no fear. The cage contains a harmless reptile of the iguanodon family.
The robot points out that on prehistoric Earth, the iguanodon grew much larger than that. You dinosaur purists, please remember this was 1966. The cage is some special material that adjusts its temperature and life support to suit whatever animal is in there. The animals are summoned by a high-frequency sonar generator, but he can't tell who does the summoning. Insufficient data, for now.
Perhaps I can give you some more information.
Everybody in the universe knows how to do that except us. Somebody share this technology with us, please. We're starting to feel left out.
Do not be frightened. I will not harm you. I will put aside my staff.
I'm sure that's a comfort to them since they have no idea who you are, what your staff is, or what it does. But do leave it aside.
Something wrong?
Your staff, sir. Look at it.
That's the second time today I forgot to turn it off.
If you ever have that problem again, for future reference, the off button is right here. He gives the flowers to Maureen. He knows who they are and understands their language because he's been studying radio transmissions from Earth to astronauts since the space program began. Plus, he studies all the creatures of the universe. He gathers two of every kind for study and preservation. I foresee trouble.
For a primitive people, you have done well here.
My dear sir, I resent the word primitive. We are highly civilized.
I will not argue the point, Dr. Smith. Let us both be satisfied with our opinions.
People of Earth are still fighting and killing each other. The Keeper, as he's called, may have a different definition of civilized that doesn't include such activities.
Are you in the habit of taking other people's property, Professor Robinson? This cage belongs to me.
The robot brought your cage here by mistake. We would have returned it.
And the creature that was in it, too, I suppose?
Well, perhaps, sir, if you had revealed yourself to us and let us know what you were doing, none of this would have happened.
I do not announce my arrival or reveal my plans to anyone.
It would save a lot of worry and headaches if you did.
Whoa, Dr. Smith left the Keeper speechless. Smith doesn't score one very often, but when he does, it's a good one. Your arrogant attitude helped cause this little problem, so maybe if you tone it down a little and show a tad of respect, things will go more smoothly. Spoiler, not gonna happen. He recalls the lizard and heads back to his ship, but not before he tells them we'll meet again. As I said, I foresee trouble, and I think we can all guess what it's going to be.
You wish to communicate?
I do.
Then proceed.
I think I'm going to try that the next time one of my kids calls me. You wish to communicate? Then proceed.
I have found some animals from planet Earth. They would make an interesting addition to our collection.
Then select the 2 best specimens.
Unfortunately, Earth people live by reason as well as by instinct. My staff has no power over them.
Are you sure?
A man named Smith is the only exception. He's a poor specimen. There are also 2 children.
You knew that was coming.
Will your staff exercise control over them?
I hesitate to use my staff for fear of damaging them. But perhaps I could get them by other means.
Very well then. You may proceed.
Pro tip, keeper, if you're looking for a mating pair, you don't want a brother and sister. The way our genetics work, you could end up with the equivalent of a 5-legged wombat. Don and Judy would make a much better pair. He seems to agree because later we see them working in the garden when the keeper appears.
I trust I didn't startle you.
It is a little disconcerting to have you popping up like a jack-in-the-box. That's a toy they make for children that jumps up and scares them.
Surely you are not frightened of me. What a handsome pair of specimens you are.
Surely you're not frightened of me, just because I call you specimens in my next breath. He says, come with me and see the universe. You'll have everything you ever wanted, and you'll see wonders that you can't imagine.
No.
Just as you wish. But think about it some more anyway. You wouldn't want to make a wrong decision, would you?
Is that a threat? This group doesn't respond well to threats. As always, Maureen wants to be the peacemaker.
I don't think the keeper means us any harm.
Why, because he gave you those flowers?
Oh.
Beware of strangers bearing gifts, I always say.
Oh, Dr. Smith, you always suspect the worst of everyone. Now, if the keeper had really wanted to take Don and Judy, he wouldn't have asked them to go with him.
There are 7 of us to contend with, dear lady. We represent a formidable group against just one.
He's seen what the keeper can do with that disco stick. It's good enough to mesmerize Dr. Smith himself, transport matter in an instant, and grow flowers in seconds. But yeah, you're the formidable ones. Keep telling yourself that if it gets you through the day. He says Don and Judy can accept the keeper's offer with the caveat that he drops the rest of us off at Earth before he continues his journeys. Once they're aboard his ship, take over by force and go home. You can guess how well that goes over with the rest of them.
Penny. What is it now?
Sorry to startle you, children. I've been around animals so long, I've begun to move as quietly as they do.
It helps that my stick has a muffler on it. He lets Will examine his stick and says, my stored cosmic energy is what makes it work. He says, you can charge it for me. Penny, of course, gets to stand there and watch because she's just a girl.
How would you like to go to my spaceship and see my collection of animals?
Oh, we'd love to, Mr. Keeper, but...
Hundreds and hundreds of animals, Penny. A butterfly that sings like a bird, a frog that laughs. I have creatures from every planet in the galaxy.
I'd love to see them. Well, all right.
Well, then, come along, children.
It'd probably be a good idea to let your parents or somebody know where you're going, just in case. The closer they get to his ship, the more Penny is thinking the same thing. But he's keeping them sufficiently off balance that they aren't forcing the issue. He calls an animal for them to check out.
I must go. I am being summoned.
No, not that one. That one. The Shetland pony with the glued-on horn. I mean, the unicorn.
He must be a little baby colt.
The wrong, Penny. He's fully grown.
I sure wish he belonged to me.
If you'd like, I'll give you one.
Do you really mean it?
Of course. But not this particular horse. There's a smaller one at my spaceship. He'd make a much better pet.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go!
They let her keep Debbie. They let her keep the dog, at least until the end of the episode. A miniature unicorn won't be a problem either.
There it is.
Little known fact, the Keeper's ship was the original inspiration for the Mercedes-Benz logo. Will and Penny were the only two humans in the galaxy who didn't see that coming. There's some kind of enormous monster caged right below his control room, but he says don't worry, it can't escape. Let's go look at some more pleasant things. He shows them endless corridors with birds, predators, and other creatures. They could spend a lifetime just looking at all of them.
What do you think of that animal?
It's empty.
Watch it.
But there's only one. I thought you said there were two of each kind.
There are two. The female is there, but she's less brave than the male, which is as it should be.
Send your hate mail to the Keeper somewhere in space. I already did. He moves on to his primate collection.
But these two cages are empty.
I haven't found specimens to fill them yet. You may go inside if you wish. Go ahead, it's perfectly safe.
No, Will, don't.
No harm will come to you. Go inside.
We don't want to go in, sir.
Do as I say. Go inside.
Shouldn't have raised your voice, dude. You gave yourself away. He didn't want to do that, but pretty well had to.
Let us go back inside.
Wait. Wait for me.
Fool!
We call that productive bungling. Whatever Dr. Smith did to the stick, it stopped working for the moment. Probably knocked a battery loose or something. The kids run away. Smith stays to talk. He says, there's lots of exotic creatures on Earth. Take me there and I'll show you all of them. As if the Keeper needs him for such an expedition. The Keeper says, it's too far to Earth. My current specimens won't survive. Maybe next time in a couple 100 years or so. We already know he's willing to lie, so I wonder if he's just messing with Smith's head, making fun of the absurd suggestion that he needs help from a creature such as this one. It's night, the kids and Dr. Smith are locked in their quarters just in case, and Major West and Professor Robinson are taking turns keeping watch.
Will,
Dad,
you better get back to bed, son.
I'm not sleepy, sir. I'd like to go for a walk.
You can't.
Please, Dad, just for a little while.
No, go on back to bed.
Dad, please let me out.
That means he's out there with his stick, as if we couldn't tell from the sound it's making. Next morning, Don and Judy head off to finish the pipeline. The kids are still locked in their rooms.
How do you like it? Before I answer, you better tell me what it is. Didn't you ever read Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn? It's a slingshot.
Don't you mean shing slot? That's what Breer called it.
Back in the 18th and 19th century, almost every boy made one of these. What for? To carry with his penknife and marbles, I guess.
John is sleeping, so the robot is guarding them. That's not the best idea you've had all week.
Come to the door, my mechanical friend. Come to the door at once. Unlock this door. Quickly, I say.
They forgot Will can control the robot. Maureen discovers they're gone and wakes John.
Look, get down on the radio. Tell him to get back here right away. I'll get Smith.
Still, it doesn't occur to them to ask the robot what happened or if it has any information. Might be a good idea since it's obvious he let him out.
Come on, Dr. Smith. You're going to lead us to the Keeper spaceship.
He's using his staff to summon the children. I want you to take me to the ship.
You needn't shout, Professor Robinson. My hearing is quite good.
But the earplugs kept him from being affected. One time in his life, Smith did a smart thing. I may have another heart attack. Don arrives, he and John take laser rifles. They finally got smart and stopped giving one to Smith. And Dr. Smith leads them to the keeper's ship. But by the time they get there, he realizes he forgot to put his earplugs back in. He's mesmerized again.
I want you to send Will, Penny, and Dr. Smith over here.
Your weapons are useless against me, Professor Robinson. My source of power is cosmic energy. If you don't believe me, shoot.
Shoot the stick.
Oh, wait. I will give you a better target. I want you accidentally to injure the children.
Shoot. If you don't, I will.
Shoot the stick.
He took a direct hit in the chest.
Yes, because the stick is protecting him. Shoot the stick.
I go before my anger clouds my judgment and I destroy you.
He really expects them just to walk away. He's never encountered a human parent before.
Have you ever shot one of these?
Sure, as a kid. Wasn't if our lasers weren't any good.
His staff. The lights on his staff.
I told you that 5 minutes ago.
Now get as close as you can.
John keeps talking to hold the keeper's attention while Don slips up close enough for a shot.
Now,
You broke it.
in all the galaxy, no animals have given me as much trouble as yourselves.
We'll take that as a compliment.
Is this thing you call freedom so precious?
In our world, since the beginning of time, men and women have fought and died for it.
Foolish, foolish creatures.
Maybe so. But it's what sets us apart from all the others.
You are not worth further effort on my part.
Yeah, sure. This episode is called The Keeper Part 1, so I suspect he's lying again. He thinks he's superior because he has superior technology and knowledge, but his morality has a long way to go, especially when it comes to collecting sentient, rational creatures. Either I was correct and he was lying, or he really needs to pee and his holding tank is full. Unfortunately, not only did he underestimate the power of a parent's love, he underestimated the power of some humans to be stupid. He thinks the robot can instantly figure out the controls and take them to Earth. The robot begs to differ.
I must scan and compute control systems. I do not wish to make an error.
You always have to make a problem out of everything, don't you? It's all perfectly simple. This one probably starts the power system.
You know this how? For all you know, that flushes the toilet, and since the holding tank is full, you'll be up to your ankles in stuff you don't want to think about.
Warning! Do not tamper with alien controls.
Nonsense. Any one of these could whisk us away from here. I wonder what that was. I think I may have done something wrong.
Oh, he did something all right.
Danger! Extreme danger! All creatures escaping!
Wait, didn't that one already come out? The Keeper apparently has a transporter built into the ramp, so those critters keep finding themselves back on the ship and have to escape all over again. Between this and the beginning of the next episode, it'll take them about 5 tries to finally get out of the blasted thing. This story is a nice critique of racism and slavery. Viewing a creature that is just as sentient and rational as you are as a lower form of life isn't a good idea. It's early January 1966. The Civil Rights Act is barely more than a year old, and large parts of the country are still railing against it. Translation: white people are angry because they can't legally oppress or anymore. The Keeper is a good picture of that. This is also a good picture of what happens when the oppressed fight back, no matter the odds, and make important gains despite the oppressor's superior firepower. And next time, we'll see what happens when the oppressor's puny ego can't handle that.